What's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking us on out. New Porpoise Pod out. If you guys want to check that out, my guy Alejandro Solana getting ready for Steelers and Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. I didn't know this. I heard this in the press conference. This is only the fourth time the Dolphins have been on NBC since their inception of Sunday Night Football. That's pretty crazy. But not surprising, I would say. NBC, for whatever reason, Sunday Night Football always seems to do the sexy matchups better than even Monday Night Football was doing. Monday Night's gotten better, but there was a time where, Monday Night Football, the matchups were real stinkers. And so I always thought, they always have the Fox game of the week, and then it always felt like, the Sunday Night Football was always going to be the best game of the week. Now, I don't necessarily know if you would say this is the best game of the week, but there is a lot of juice to it between, Tua coming back. The Steelers have their own thing with Kenny Pickett, who somehow is able to go practice with a concussion mere days after it happens, and Teddy Bridgewater isn't. Brian Flores being on the coaching staff, so Tua v. Flores, all that type of stuff. So a lot of juice, even though I would say the Steelers right now are your grandma Steelers. But hey, listen, two nationally recognized brands, and I think that also makes for some fun. There's going to be plenty of stuff to talk about on that Sunday night. For me, just really great seeing Tua back out on the practice field, seeing the videos of him with his teammates, seeing him at the podium, talking to the media. I do feel bad that he had to, and I was curious about this, what was going to be the bigger talking point for him? Concussions or Brian Flores? The drama last year or what he just went through? And the clear answer of this was concussions. Almost to the point where I was like, man, it's got to be exhausting answering all these questions about concussions. What did he remember? What kind of fear was he going through? Do you think about your long-term health? How many concussions have you had? And it's just he was already said his first answer to this was all just how very stressful this all was with the Players Association, having to answer all these questions that he was going through. And then you hear that from him, and the media is like, bam, 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 concussion, 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 concussion. Question after question about the concussions that he's going through. And you get it. Listen, that is something we all saw that was very scary. Seeing the way that his fingers went, seeing him get stretchered off the field. But he's already letting you know, hey, this was a stressful thing that I went through. I didn't like having to talk about this. And hopefully, health is great the rest of the year, and he doesn't have to talk about it anymore. I thought that the interesting part of it was him just saying he is just ready to go and get his playmakers ready to work and to get them back in the win column.
I just got to be myself. I'm not the savior of this team. I don't just come in and we start winning games. It's a team. It's a team deal. The defense gets us stops. The offense goes and puts points on the board. And the defense can help put points on the board as well as special teams. So for me, I just look at it as coming into this week, just be myself. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to make, plays that aren't there be there. Just give our playmakers the ball and let them go to work.
He's got some good playmakers, man. And I would say, look, Tua doesn't have to be the savior of this team, but, man, they really, really need QB1 to go out there and execute and put up some type of points for all the yards they're putting up. That is what needs to get back to going for this Dolphins team, because really the prolific scoring has only matched up with the Ravens game. Everywhere else it's been kind of a yards game. I would say the Bills game was just kind of an efficient win because they didn't have the ball very much, and he executed with some big plays in that game. But that has been, I think, the frustrating thing for many fans and pundits. So, savior? No, I don't think that they need Tua to be, the savior. I don't think you need him to go out there and throw for 500. I think that we have seen this is a team that can win, but they just need execution in the right way. That's the thing that's been kind of crushing them. And, you hope that he is all the way back, not only from the concussion, but the back injury that did look like it was affecting him on that Thursday night game. He's had the rest. So you do hope that this is a guy who comes back and has everything going for him, and that he is good to go, because it's going to be a tough thing to not only be in the midst of a losing streak, but you don't have a guy who's physically all the way back. But I do think that, we've seen the quarterback play from Skyler, and we've seen it from Teddy, and granted, they both have been thrown to unfair positions because the games that they were supposed to start were not the games that they finished. So you can give them a little bit of a pass there. But this is certainly your hope is, first of all, like, can the Dolphins just go into a Sunday, have QB1 go out there, and then just have him finish the game? That would be nice. You know, if they didn't have to go with and you know, scramble and figure out what the quarterback situation was going to be. So that would be fantastic if they could just have that to deal with. As far as the injuries are concerned right now, going into this week, on your Wednesday injury report, you had Teron Armstead not practicing. Not surprising, he don't practice. Keon Crosson's dealing with a knee. Agba, he's dealing with a back, and Christian Wilkins had a hand. So none of those guys were on Wednesday practice. Cater Kohu, he was limited, so that's definitely some good news. Hopefully he's on the mend and getting his way back. Mostert was limited, so was Sealer. Smythe, he was limited with his hamstring. Skylar Thompson limited. Jalen Waddle with his shoulder limited. So I think that all in all, a pretty positive Wednesday, considering, you know, because you look at guys like Wilkins and Agba, I could see them practicing on Thursday. Maybe just, you know, maybe they are dealing with something, but give them an extra day there to get out on the mend. And we've seen, like, you know, with the best players, Mike McDaniel will be okay with letting him sit out. Thinking out loud, has that contributed maybe to penalties or cohesion? Maybe it has. But I would say that most of the biggest contributors to that in these games have been guys that have practiced, and especially on that offensive line. But getting Teron Armstead, if they do get him back, and it did sound positive towards getting him back, that would be huge. And no Austin Jackson on the injury report yesterday, so that'll be huge too. I think getting your tackles back out there the same day they're getting Tua should be a big, big boost for everybody. And, you know, this matchup is going to be interesting because the Dolphins are about to start this 5-game stretch where it does feel like they do need a bit of a table run here. Maybe you should go, maybe 4-1 would be acceptable to still make the playoffs by the end of it. Being 7-4 by the end of this thing, I think is definitely okay. But, you know, that was the hurtful part about starting 3-0 and then dropping the next 3, even with all the adversity that you had faced and feeling like you had a chance in some of these games. So for Tua, getting him back out there is going to be an absolute monster thing. And really, I think this is going to be a fun night for the Dolphin fans between the 72-team 50th anniversary. I know the Dolphins have been, you know, honoring the 72 team like crazy forever. They feel like they almost roll them out there nearly every other year to do a 72 thing. But 50 years, come on, that's really, really special. And for those guys to get that honor on a national TV night, wearing the throwbacks. God, I love the throwback uniforms. I just want Dolphins, Heat, Panthers, Marlins to all go back. The 90s had it right. Look, the 90s, some things were lame, but sports uniforms, nailed them. And I don't understand why we got so cutesy-wootsy with it. And I wish that just everybody would go back. The Heat are going to tease us a little bit this year. The Dolphins, they tease us a couple times a year. And I get the theory, too, of people saying, well, it's special. It is special. I granted, it is special to see them those couple times a year you get to wear them. But, I mean, imagine if you got to wear them all year. Oh, goosies. And then the last thing we got to see is what is it going to be like with Brian Flores out there? Tua talked a little bit about this, about the idea of face and flow. And this is what he had to say about that.
Yeah, of course. I've been with him for the past 2 years, so he definitely knows what I like, what I don't like. But then again, schematically, this is, you know, Mike's offense, and this isn't the same offense that I've been running while he's been here for the past 2 years.
Yeah, that bum one with Chan Gailey, not to the level of it's. Yeah, you mean that one, Tua? I mean that offense that Brian Flores had to shove down your throat. What do you like? Christmas. What don't you like? Flores. That's what we know. But it's gonna be fun. He is a sweet dude in the media. He is just a genuine gentleman, Like that's just the way he carries himself publicly. There's no way it's not going to feel good to stick it in Brian Flores' pipe and make him smoke it. Like, if he throws 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, and does the mock golf swing to him, that would be just a hell of a Sunday night and a hell of a return for Tua Tagovailoa.